Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this particular Java tutorial, what we are going to take a look at something called as a very popular and very important term in the world of design patterns called as factory design pattern. Okay, so what is the exact use of factory design pattern and how we can implement that in real-time Java projects? That is something that we are going to see. And for that, I'm continuing with the same use case that we were seeing of shape as a geometrical shape, and there are multiple implementation of that particular shape class based on what kind of shape you want to draw. Okay, so onto the similar line, what I did here is I have taken a simple shape interface, and it has one draw method, for example. Okay, and in addition to that, I have added two implementations of this shape class. One is line. So basically we have a line class that is implementing a shape class, and it has overridden the draw method. Okay, so when you say a interface, whatever methods that you have declared as a part of your interface, in the implementation classes you have to write the logic for those methods. Okay, so onto the same lines, we have overridden this particular draw method, and we have written some dummy logic, since this is an example that we are seeing, that it will just print a line saying that line drawn successfully. Okay, similarly, onto the same lines, as we have the line.java class, which is implementing the shape interface, we have one more Java class called as square, that is again implementing a shape interface, and it also has its own draw method, which will again print just simple text or a line saying that square drawn successfully. Okay, and as our regular example, we have this caller as well. Okay, and what is the responsibility of this particular caller is to take the input from user, that okay, what kind of shape user wants to draw, and we have done that using the scanner. And basically based on that particular shape, we have to call the draw method for either a line or a square. Okay, so let's see how we have written this. So basically here user will enter the what kind of shape it wants to draw, and if this particular name says that okay, user wants to draw a line, then we are going to create the object of shape class with by initializing it to the line class, or the object of line class basically. And if the square shape says that okay, I want to draw square, then we are going to create the object of the square class. Okay, now what's the question, or what is the what we can say a flaw in this particular caller is a couple of things. Okay, so basically caller is nothing but your client who wants to utilize this particular shape utility that you have provided, and which has the functionality to draw something based on the input that user will provide. So ideally speaking, why my caller should be worried about okay, what kind of object I should create, and okay, to which particular class I should initialize. This particular logic ideally should not be part of your caller class. Okay, and suppose tomorrow if you have 10 more shapes, 10 more geometrical shape that you add as a functionality to your program, then each and every time caller has to change a code at the client side as well, saying that okay, currently we have just two shape implementation, one is line, another one is square, and if tomorrow third shape gets added into your course code, then client has to add one more line of code, one more if else one more if, saying that okay, if shape is equal to this, let's say for example triangle, then give me the object of triangle class. And that's how the best practices or object oriented practices about the single responsibility of that particular class will not get satisfied here. Okay, and that's how something called as there is a solution to this particular problem, or what we can say the best practice to achieve this kind of things is known as something called as factory methods or factory design pattern. Okay, so in factory design pattern, what we do is, anyways, we are going to take the input of from the user. What we are going to do is, based on that particular input parameter, we are going to write a different class altogether, and all the functionality to return the object of that particular class will be shifted to that particular method or the factory class basically. Okay, so this particular logic, that okay, if my if user wants to have a shape with shape is equal to line, then return me the object of line class. Or if the shape is equal to square, then return me the object of square class. So all these parts or all these kinds of business logic to return the appropriate object will be shifted to the shape factory. Okay, so if you can see here, I have created one shape factory. I haven't written any code here, but basically what we are going to do here is, we are going to write one method, and under that, based on different shape classes that you have at your place, we are going to just add those many switch cases. Okay, so for example, so if you see this particular class, right, that we want to get the sheep. Okay, so basically we have this particular class saying that okay, get me the shape. Okay, so basically the responsibility of this shape factory is to help your caller to get the appropriate shape. When we say appropriate shape, as in the correct object of your class. And for that, what we are going to do is, we are going to write the switch case. Okay, so basically what this particular thing is going to return you is ultimately a object of shape class. Okay, so let's assign it to null as of now, and let's get into the switch case. Okay, so switch case based on the name that will get passed here. Okay, so user will just, or your caller method or your client will just pass the name of the shape that he wants to draw, he or she wants to draw. That's it, nothing apart from that will be a part of your client's logic. Okay, and based on this particular name, we can write various cases here, right? Okay, so for example, if case is equal to line, so if user wants to draw a line, then what we can do is, we can do shape is equal to give me the object of line class, and break from here, because my work is done. If the shape name is, let's say, square, then shape is equal to new square, and break from here. And we'll be having one default case as well, saying that if client passes some another argument, or this is like a validation, that if anything else comes into this particular name, that particular thing is not yet supported, that we will say that this shape is not yet supported. This is what we will write, and we will just break from here. Okay, and ultimately we will return the object of shape class. Okay, so this is what the factory method that we have added, that all the logic to create the appropriate object and return it to the client, so that they can take care at their side that okay, what kind of logic they want to write based on just only one single parameter will be taken care by this particular thing. Okay, so now if we go in caller, we don't have to write all these logic, all this particular logic into your client. What you just can write is shape factory dot get shape, and just pass whatever input user has given. Okay, and what this particular thing is going to do is, it is going to give you the appropriate object of whichever shape that has been passed. Okay, and ultimately what you want to do is, you want to just shape is equal to this, and you just have to call the draw method from that particular shape. Okay, so if you just run this particular program, so let me just run this, and let me just give it as line. Okay, and it will display line drawn successfully, meaning we got the correct output, right? Because what is the code that we have written in the draw method of line class is line drawn successfully. Okay, so if we pass the square as a object here, okay, then it will display square drawn successfully. That means our factory method is returning the object of correct class based on the input that we are giving. Okay, and all the logic, all the if else statement, all the switch cases, why my caller should worry about these things? My caller should just say that okay, I just wanted to draw a line, that's it. And rest of the logic to create the object of the appropriate class and everything is shifted to this particular factory method, and based on these cases that too. Okay, so this is what the implementation of factory design pattern, or this is whatever we have implemented, this particular shape factory logic is known as the factory design pattern. Okay, so I hope you understood this factory design pattern concept and its implementation also. Believe me, it is very important concept in whenever you are working in a actual onto the actual Java project and you have complex business logics, and these kinds of utilizing these kinds of best practices in your project will make your code very useful, very understandable, and easily maintainable as well. Now tomorrow, if some another shape gets added into your project or something, you don't have to change it to the multiple places. You just have to create that particular class, like we have created the square class, and just add that particular case statement here into your shape factory, and your job is done. There is no other single change that you have to do. Okay, all right. Thanks guys, thanks for watching this tutorial, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Thank you.